Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Elliott Wave count for the DAX, the FTSE, the AEX and the MIB. And on the daily chart here for the DAX, we have intermediate wave 3 here, and then the A wave here, an A and a B and a C here for the B wave here. And we're looking for 5 waves down for the C wave here of wave 4 in terms of wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3, ABC for wave 4 and down for wave 5. The alternative count we have for this is bullish, where we have this intermediate wave 3 here, we have wave 4 here, and we're treating this move up here still as 5 waves as wave C here, but we could also view that as wave 1. If that's the case as wave 1, then we'd look for an A wave, a B wave and a C wave back for wave 2, and then pushing up for wave 3 here. So over here, this move down here would be wave A, wave B, which we'll investigate in detail in a moment, and then wave C moving down to this area through here. So I'll just dive into the 1 hour chart or 4 hour chart and have a look at this little area within here. So with the 4 hour chart here, we'll just get a bit of an outside perspective on it first before moving into some detail here. So what we do know is we know that this move down through here is in 5 waves. Okay, so we can call it wave 1 for the bearish count, or for the bullish count we'll call it wave A here. We were looking for a retracement level back to the 50-60% retracement level, or the 13,000 here, and which we have here at the moment. However, with this particular move here, and we do have 5 waves from this little move down through here, but what we are concerned about is that this correction is not actually over at this stage. So we were thinking that it can possibly be over from here. Okay, we need to look some strategies now. So it can be completed here, and we have 5 waves down here. We have our 61.8% retracement level back into the 12,800, and we can move straight down from that point. Okay, that's one thing we have. The other thing that we are looking at here at the moment is that the wave 2 or wave B is not complete, and it's over here, and we're looking at this here as a possible A wave to here, an A and a B and a C wave to here, and then wave 1 here, back for wave 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, and then moving down from that point. Okay, so it's a bit of a tricky one. Let's go into the hourly chart here and look at this, and of course the other markets would be the same as this as well. So in this case here, our original case here when we spoke last time was we had a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and that's valuable because we know that after a correction, a rally here, that we're going to get another 5 waves down, and the way that I've got it here so far is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and that's fine. And then moving back to the 61.8% retracement level at 12,800, so we're there at the moment. So we can move down into wave 3 here, then 4 and 5. But what we're concerned about is that this here, this whole correction here, can be viewed also as an A wave up to here, a B wave down to here, and a C wave over to here for this B wave here, which would mean that this would be swapped around here. Well, not really. Let's just grab the right degree of structure here. Do I have anything over here? Yes, we do. So I can use wave 1 here, wave 2 on that box, wave 3, 4 and 5 here. Might as well use that while we're here. An A wave there, B wave there, and C wave for the B wave there. Let's just move that back out of the line here. So this unfortunate two Elliott wave counts here that we have would also run through into the other indices as well. So we can use this as wave 2 here and wave 1 here. So to get the trend, to capture the trend, we're going to have to be a little bit patient here. So if if support is found on this drop down here would need to probably come down further, so we would probably need to see here a little A, B and C here before this moved up here. Okay, so as I mentioned before, so getting support on top of 12,800 would see us up closer to the 13,000 area here. Now, any move to the downside here to short will be a little bit trickier, because what we would need to do here is we would need to see, well, as I mentioned before, the 12,650 here is really important. It's the halfway mark between number 5 and 8 here, so it becomes a balance point between those two numbers, and we can see that playing out here obviously. So if that became the retested resistance, then we'd be on the short side here. But also too, because the pullback here, 61.8% here, is at roughly around the 12.7 mark here, what we can do here is we'll copy this and we'll use the 12.7, because if the 12.7 became a retested resistance and really became sticky at that point, then we could look for a short, our first short position within there. But we would need to see this. Obviously, if it came down through here, it would bounce off the 7, then it would come through to the 61.8%, that low there, and then once we got that low in, then you can move the green line to there, and then if it's breached from that point, you can get your first position. So what we really need to do is we need to wait for this to play out here. So we need to get a better idea of what this is going to look like in here. Is it going to be 5 waves down to the 61.8% mark? Because if it is 5 waves down to the 61.8% mark, then we know that it's bearish, because then we'll go back to 61.8 again, and then we'll go down again. But if it's 3 waves down to the 61.8% mark, then we know it's bullish at that point. So then you can look to move in from the top here. This will be an A and a B and a C here. So the B wave will be a trigger point coming down through from the top to here, or from this, coming across this side over here. So we need to fill in this space before we can get direction. Yeah, just unfortunately that this can be viewed in another particular way, and we need to accommodate that. And the one that's also the thing that supports this as well, moving higher here, is that the move here appears to be in 5 waves to the upside. So that gives us bias to move higher from here. So we're just going to need to be a little bit careful from here. So just follow our charts that we put out during the London and European opening here to see what our direction is at that particular stage. So I'll quickly go through the other markets, but they're much the same as well. So first of all, with the AEX here, we had the situation where we had the A wave down to here, and then we're looking for the retracement back into this area through here, and moving down in 5 waves here into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we have here to the 61.8%. So yeah, we could also even put, probably at a higher risk trade, put that under this one here, and there will also be resistance from where this is here at the moment as well. It will be on that 50-60% area here. The gap down here will probably be filled in a rally there, especially on the futures market. The gap will be filled on the futures market because there's an equal amount of buyers as there is to sellers. So once again, we can even, if you're interested in trading this here, taking the topper out here after we get a retracement back into this little area through here. All a bit complicated, I know here, but it's just, that's what corrections are, and they just can be a little bit tricky. So we can end up with wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3, 4 and 5 here, and then ending at that point. So we still need this to play out a little bit further through here. I'll just save that, and the FTSE is going to be the same as well here with all of this as well. So in this case here, I've just drawn it out here in terms of the A wave here. 5 waves up for the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here, up for 1, back for 2 here, then up for 3, 4 and 5, oops daisy, up for 5 here to finish there. If the this is also between halfway between number 5 and number 8 here, the 7650 here. So that's also becomes a critical area. So if that becomes a retested resistance, we need to short here as well. So we really need to allow this to play out here. I know that the Nasdaq and which is leading to the upside still needs to move a bit higher, so it can lift these to higher ground here. So we can look to trade higher through here, and you can look for the 61.8% retracement area back from this point here. So you could probably even, doesn't matter, take the top of this one out here as well here. So support, a nice tested support on 7.7 here would be a catalyst for moving to the upside there. So if I can just move that segment there, put that on top of that one there, that will be the trigger for the long trade there, or support more so on this level. Look to add on top of the 20 here as well. That's a very significant number here, the 7720. You can also add on top of the 30 there as well, because that's all of group 1, isn't it? From 700 we've got 10, 20 and 30, which is group 1. So you can build positions through group 1, and then any profit taking would play out at the 750 area here. So you can also look to add on top of that there as well. Rightio. The MIB is obviously a little bit different because it's just weaker, but at the same time, we were looking at, last time we spoke, we know we had 5 waves here. We're looking for a retracement here, so we could put that long trade here. We're looking for a short trade here. If you've got the short trade in here, which is probably happened on the late on Friday, so it's probably not a good thing to. If you're not in there, it doesn't matter. But if you're in there for some particular reason, then keep a very tight stop on it, because in this case here, I can see we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and probably 5 in here. So keeping a stop just in here for this one here, I'll just put that in red here for this. Just keep it really, if you're in already, keep it tight, because the other thing it can do here, because it's 5 waves here, it can pull back up to this point and then move down from that point. But also too, we need to be mindful of what's happening in the other European markets. So we can have an ABC here. This wave 4 could end up over here, with this is the A wave here, B wave here, and C wave here, and moving up here in 5 waves here to complete before moving down here. So I don't know which one is the correct one. We'll have to wait. If you're not in here at the moment, then if there's further weakness below this low here, then look to short at that particular stage. But wave 4s can get complicated, and yeah, so we just need to be a bit mindful. But keep the losses in here really small. If you're short already, keep a really tight stop on it. You have to keep the stop above the 500 here, because that's the closest largest number. And if you're in there at the moment, when you're in any trade, you always need to think of taking the next logical step. So the logical step is that you're short at the moment, and the trend is down. So why get out? Just because I'm saying that it can rally at this stage. So you need to stay with the evidence at all times. But in terms of protecting, you need to take the next logical steps. So the 500 here, as the resistance here, you'll need to stop above that. Never put stops on whole numbers like that, because you will get stopped out. So 507 would be a good stop, and then you'd need to go to above 10. So 14 would be the number above that there as well. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated.